I, Mark Russell Williams, being the acting returning officer at the above election, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said election is as follows. Chapman Andrew, UK Independence Party, 6,870. Mole Stewart, Liberal Democrats, 3,715. Race Stephen, Labour Party, 5,591. Swire Hugo, the Conservative Party candidate, 25,401. Wright Clare, Independent, 13,140. There were 217 spoilt papers. There were 54,934 ballot papers issued, and the turnout was 71.7%. And so I do hereby declare that the said Hugo Swire is duly elected as Member of Parliament for East Devon.
Well, Mr. Presiding Officer, can I first of all start by thanking you and your exceptional staff for working so assiduously through what seems to us to be several days and several nights to get the result here. I spent election day, whenever that was, travelling to the polling stations. We managed to get to, I think, 53 out of the 53, and I was able to personally thank the staff manning those polling stations there. And I was extraordinarily excited, really, by the amount of people who were queuing to vote, and particularly the first-time voters who seemed seriously engaged with what has turned out to be a remarkable general election. The Conservative Party has had some extraordinary results, not least here in the South West, and I am absolutely delighted that we have been given an opportunity to form a government to carry out what we started in what has been an extraordinarily difficult 5 years for another 5 years. Politics is a difficult business. It's unfair sometimes, but we've seen some good people ejected from their careers, and we should think of them tonight. But we've also got some new talent coming in, and that's what makes politics in the United Kingdom so exciting. I'm particularly pleased to have been returned today. I'm deeply honoured to have had an increase in the vote. My majority is at its largest that it's been since I was first elected back in 2001, and I shall continue to try to represent all my constituents, regardless of who they are or where they are from, at Westminster, to make sure their voice is heard. And I, for one, shall ensure that the Conservative Party's South West Manifesto, which is extraordinarily exciting in addressing some of the longer-term issues here in the South West, is implemented fully. Thank you.
My campaign has been a long one. I launched it 1 year ago. I have loved every minute. It has been a truly, wonderfully life-affirming experience and an adventure. Thank you to all of those who have worked at the polling stations from the crack of dawn yesterday morning until last night, and at the count here all night. And thank you to the returning officer for overseeing the election. Thank you to my opponents for a generally friendly debate. And congratulations to Hugo on his win. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to my tireless and extremely determined core campaign team. They couldn't have worked any harder, and I truly believe that they have been the best team in the entire country, and I have been blessed to work with them. Thank you to the 250 people who have pounded the streets for the past year, relentlessly leafleting, and in the past few weeks, relentlessly door knocking. And to the dozens and dozens of residents who so very generously donated to my campaign. And to all those who displayed my posters, hundreds of them across the constituency. A huge huge thank you to my incredibly supportive husband Dave, over there, to my wonderful parents, my dad's here somewhere, and my lovely and very patient daughter Katie. I could never have embarked on this campaign without your help. I'm honoured and humbled by all those East Devon people who put their trust in me and who voted for me. I wanted to be East Devon's MP so much, but it wasn't to be this time. Thank you very much.
It's been an interesting and very disappointing night for UKIP. We are continuing to see the reverberations of the Labour government in the continued breakup of the UK. But more important than that, we've seen that it takes 3 million votes to get one seat. We've seen that it takes 1.5 million votes to get 55 seats. And we've seen that it takes a similar number or a little less to get 7 seats. And I would put it to you, Hugo, that if the Conservative government over the next 5 years does not take on board a more rational way of enabling the people of Britain to vote, to have a more representative government than they have got at the moment, they will once again be betraying what the British electorate says. I too would like to thank all of the people who have worked so hard in there for so long. I would like to thank my team of 9 very dedicated helpers. And I'd like to thank my wife, Amy, who has put up with an enormous amount. And I'd like to thank all of those people who have voted and put faith in the message that UKIP has tried in very, very difficult circumstances to get across. Thank you very much.
I'll keep it very short because I think we all want to go to bed. Congratulations to Hugo on his success, and thank you to all of the candidates for such a good campaign. I'd like to thank my campaign team, led by my indomitable agent, Ray Davison, and also to the presiding officer and all of the staff throughout the day and the evening, alongside the police as well, who've kept order amongst the rowdy people who are in this room. And I'd like to finish off by thanking those East Devon residents who chose to vote Labour and who chose to vote for me today. So thank you all very much.
It is either very late or very early. I'm not really quite sure, but I want to associate myself very briefly with the remarks that have been made about the integrity of the count. It's so important. We wear our democratic freedoms quite lightly, I think, and sometimes those are unappreciated. But the fact that we've had the ballot that we have, the fact that we've had the debates that we have between the candidates in an amicable way, even though we disagree very much on some of the issues, I think is very, very important. I want to congratulate Hugo on his victory, and I also want to give my thanks to my own team, to Tim Dumper and those rather small band who've come out to help. It has been pushing water uphill, and there is nothing more difficult to do that, knowing that you are up against it, and yet they have done that, and I give them huge thanks for that. Finally, my final point was to say that our purpose in this seat as Liberal Democrats was to try and hold our line while helping those key seats that we held, in the hope that we could retain a solid block in the House of Commons. Obviously, it has been a horrendous night. It's been very disappointing to see so many parliamentary figures disappear from the Liberal Democrats. But you know, I joined the party in 1966. I remember the parliamentary party of phone box size. So I'm quite sure that we will not only hope for a return and for a better future, but we'll work for one as well. Thank you.